Welcome to our podcast, Health Unscripted Own Your Path to Vitality. Every month, millions of women brace themselves for familiar set of symptoms such as bloating, cramps, mood swings, fatigue, and digestive discomfort. In worst case, headaches, backaches, tender breasts, or nausea or dizziness. While these struggles are often dismissed just as a part of cycle, growing research and real-life clinical experience suggests there is much more going on underneath. Surprisingly, your gut health may play a bigger role in your period problems than you think. We sat down with a gut health specialist to uncover how our microbiome or gut health is linked with our hormonal health. So, we sat down with Mr. Anil to uncover how gut health and period health, menstrual health are interlinked. So, Mr. Anil, can you explain how gut health is connected to our premenstrual discomfort and which includes symptoms like bloating, mood swings, cramps, constipation, or any kind of body aches?
Mridula, thank you so much to be with me today again. That's a very interesting question which you have asked. So, what happens, Mridula, that when the cycle is coming to an end, estrogen has done its job. Now, these are very potent. But if you would measure estrogen in the lab, yes, Mridula, nice question. So, what happens is that when the women monthly menstrual cycle is now completing, coming to an end, estrogen has done its job. So now it needs to be detoxified. They're very powerful, potent signaling molecules. So if by chance, if you next time notice that when they are measured in the lab work, this is, I'm just saying out of context. So normally measurements are done in milligrams, grams, but these are in very, very, very tiny amounts. They're very powerful, they're very less. So once a job is done, it needs to be removed from the system. So the liver does their job. Liver has to make it safe for removal. So it combines it with certain molecules to make it safe, and it sends it out to the gut. And in the gut, it has to be excreted through the stool. If the person's gut is out of balance, dysbiosis means the bad strains are more in numbers than the beneficial strains. What happens is certain strains like E. coli, Clostridia, and some other more of them, they make an enzyme, beta-glucuronidase, which decouples, which in other words, which makes this inactive estrogen active again. So the moment it's activated, it is taken back into the body instead of being excreted out through the stool. So then there is abundance of estrogen at the wrong time when it is not needed in the body. So an estrogen, we will see, I'll just explain later on what all it does to the body. It's a wonderful thing at the correct time, but a wrong thing at the time when it's not needed. Supposing my gut microbiome was in a healthy balance, so the beneficial strains like lactobacillus, bifidobacterium, they do the opposite of these harmful strains. They would have helped the estrogen molecule remain inactive and be excreted out. So gut is playing a very important role.
Interesting.
Yes. I hope I was clear.
Great. Yes,
Okay.
it's very much clear explanation. So is it like just estrogen is culprit here, or is there anything more to it?
There is much more to it. Because
So yeah,
so when we
I want to
talk
know
about
that
the menstrual
because
cycle, the only word which comes to us is estrogen and some hormones. It's not like that.
right,
body does not work in reductionist patterns. Our body's all functions are interconnected. Every second, every millisecond, everything, there is signaling messengers. Hormones are messengers, signaling molecules. They are sending messages in milliseconds everywhere. So I think I will just show a diagram which would make it. I'm happy. I'm thankful that you just made this diagram just before talking. Before starting the talk, you didn't like my diagram. Okay, it's a nice diagram. Thank you. So gut, we just spoke, the connection with estrogen, right?
Yes.
Now, let's just connect everything. Now, the gut also takes in nutrients, and those nutrients are needed for my thyroid function. Now, my thyroid takes care, is a metabolic hormone, so it takes care of, like action, like metabolism, energy in the body. Now, when estrogen is, the person, let's say, was in the gut having dysbiosis, suffering from constipation, and also I forgot to mention constipation, gut problems, constipation. So constipation would anyway hinder the estrogen leaving the body, right? It would anyway hinder it. So plus those bad bacteria also reactivating it. And now thyroid, we know, is connected to also suboptimal thyroid would also slow down everything, would slow down the liver from conjugating, from converting the active estrogen to inactive. And it would also slow down the motility in the gut and exacerbating the constipation. So it's a cycle. And now when there is estrogen in the body still floating around when it's not needed there, that can also slow down thyroid function. Now the estrogen thyroid connection, because estrogen will make a molecule, thyroid binding globulin, which will make the thyroid hormone inactive. Now what's the wisdom behind it? So there's a wisdom, it's not a mistake, there's a wisdom behind everything. Estrogen is connected with reproduction, with making the growth for the uterine ready for growth. Is a very important function for evolution for the women. So it's not a time for excess energy, it has to be conserved. So thyroid function is automatically kind of suppressed. Take it easy. Let the energy come to this part for the women. So thyroid binding globulin will inactivate thyroid. The thyroid function lowers, which lowers everything, and also constipation is worsened. So it's like a cycle. Now, let me come to halfway, then we'll take a break. Now comes stress, cortisol. The moment, not as everyone is, stress means psychological or physiological. We are running, we are racing, and we could also be stressed emotionally. So that any kind of stress, whether it's perceived or whether it is real, will release cortisol. Cortisol, estrogen are also closely connected. So same kind of reaction will happen. Estrogen will tend to remain more, and when there is more estrogen, cortisol will be, kind of suppressed. When there is more cortisol, estrogen will be suppressed. So and when estrogen should not be suppressed, also if there is more stress, estrogen is suppressed. So then that leads to, everything has to be imbalanced. Suppressed estrogen will lead to menstrual cycle irregularities. When estrogen is needed, we need it. But when estrogen is needed and if it's not there because of stress, so that also is a problem. Everything has its function in the correct time. And progesterone, then I'll take a break, and progesterone has the opposite effect of estrogen, and that's why it is released in the body when we see that fertility did not take place, and it's time, we don't need the uterus lining, so it has to be shed now, a new cycle has to start. So progesterone does the opposite action. In short, through molecules it will do the opposite. And if there is imbalance, if there is less progesterone, which can happen because of stress or because of gut issues, so then we see that balance going out of place. Progesterone does exactly the opposite. It will lessen the thyroid binding globulin so that more thyroid is available. That's the opposite. That's why this balance of hormones is also very important, and all these get affected when there is problem in the gut. So in many ancient, or not even ancient, when I'm in Asia, I see that women there normally have herbal teas, medicines known as, not medicine, herbal teas or supplements, Don Quai, that balances estrogen and progesterone. In India, Shativari is a herb, very old ancient herb, and all of them will also have effect on stress. They are stress modulators. They balance out stress, because stress also plays a part here. So we are seeing the interconnection, the estrogen interconnection is connected with everything. So I'll pause here, then we can move on to the balance of, I see, 1 to 3 things.
Okay. You have paused.